Everybody gonna dance? Just gotta dance.
I'll do the gym dance.
That's how this works. I didn't give you guys.
Wait a minute, we have to do the Tim.
I didn't know how this was going. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final celebration of Open Your Hearts and Wallets, a 12-hour fundraiser for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's philanthropic competition. Say that 20 times.
Great job, Tim.
Philanthropic. Okay, I won't really do that. All right. And Steve Sullivan is here too. Hello, Steve Sullivan.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. We are just starting the final celebration of Open Your Hearts and Wallets. First of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone. There are so many people to thank. I want to thank my amazing live streaming team. There were 10 incredible live streamers from all over the place who live streamed today. Thank you for your hearts, your talents, your energy, all the things. I am so grateful for all of you. You are just all incredible. I want to thank my volunteer team who are behind the scenes, planning not only for this 12-hour event, but also for the 24-hour event that we did in March. And throughout this is part of a 10-week campaign. So thank you all for all of that. I want to thank all of you who have donated during these 12 hours, during the however many weeks. Pam, how many weeks has it been so far? Have you been keeping track?
It has only been 5.
No, it hasn't.
Are you kidding me? No way.
You're lying.
No.
You're so mean.
There's no way.
We have how many more weeks left to go?
Oh, God.
5, and apparently you guys are going to be glad to say, okay, we need a break from Pam.
Oh my God.
No, I've become a
It's not
fan
you,
of Pam, and Pam
Aw,
has
thank you,
nominated
Marky.
me for stuff, and I still have to reach out to those people here in North Carolina. You and Tim did that, so I appreciate that and all of that and everything. And I have a question for you, Tim. I want to know, did Joy hear the shout out that I gave to her several times during the interview? Because I talked about how much of a force she is when I was interviewing Amanda. So she doesn't know this, but I've become a fan of Joy, and I definitely mentioned it in the interview and said it several times. So Joy, I've become a fan of yours.
Shout out to you.
Thank you.
Yes. Shout out to Joy, who is
Anybody that can put up with Tim, we shout out to. I'm kidding.
Yes,
I love you.
definitely.
I love you, Tim.
Yes. Thank you.
Oops.
Yes. Thank you for everything, for putting up with all of my shenanigans, all of my live streaming shenanigans, all of my LLS. Well, they're not shenanigans. They really are important. Yes. So thank you all. There is still time to donate if you have not donated yet. I'm going to put the link in the comments of here, and I'll get there eventually. Can somebody put the links in the link in the comments of my
Tim Dorothy beat you to it. She's got your back.
Yep.
So not only is the link in the comments, but also the address to send a check.
That's right.
So thank you,
Dorothy.
Dorothy.
Oh, awesome. Is that
Yeah,
in the
well, I
comments?
messed up. It's
or
in the private chat.
Oh.
Dorothy, could you put it in the link of not in the link. Can you put it on LinkedIn? On the stream on LinkedIn. Sorry, I can't talk. It's been 12 hours almost. On this live stream on LinkedIn in the comments, could you put it there, please?
Christine is on it. She's going to get it done.
Oh, thank you. Shout out to
you're amazing.
Christine. Thank you.
We're
my
gonna have to
gosh.
buy our coffee when we go to Oregon. You know that, right? Seattle. Wherever she lives.
Yeah, we're in Oregon. We're in Oregon, and
Okay.
yeah, the Northwest is a great place for coffee. So come on out.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so just thank you to everyone. this all means so much to me. You guys know my connection to cancers. I'm a cancer survivor, but I also did a post this week that I actually have many other connections to cancer in that all of my grandparents have passed from cancer. My aunt is currently going through breast cancer, and there's other loved ones as well that are currently going through it. So there's all that, and those are also reasons why I'm committed to all of this for sure. So yes, okay.
Check your comment section because I just put in that whole thing on there, so I just did that. If nobody
Mark
else
Lee,
jumped
I
on
love
it.
you, Mark Lee. You're the best. And Dorothy, I love you too. And the rest of you, I love you all. Just so much love here. Yes. Okay. Dorothy. Everybody's like, where's my screaming go? What's going on? Don't worry. It's coming. Okay. Yes. Okay. Any of you who are tuning in, if you would like to stay up to date about upcoming events like these ones, Dorothy, are there any upcoming events like these ones?
No.
Or Mark Lee?
I'm tapping out, my friend.
You're tapping out? I thought we're just getting started.
And we just found out we got 5 more weeks to raise some more money. So, like you
I
said,
know,
we did
5 more
24, we did
weeks.
12.
Thank
Do
you,
we go
Pam,
back
for
to
the
24?
extension.
I don't think I have another 24-hour or 12-hour fundraiser in me.
Or maybe we go for 6. You know, this could be like a whole winding down thing. So we're down to 3 and then 0 by the year. So maybe it's a 6-hour one the next time.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, I just put in the comments, there's a bi-weekly LinkedIn newsletter that I've created called Perspectives on Cancer. And it has information about upcoming events. There's going to be an in-person event that I'm putting together for September. I also put information about upcoming Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer shows, as well as other resources for cancer survivors and supporters. Already have about 600 something subscribers. So if you'd like to sign up, it's in the comments of all the platforms. That's there as well. So that is that. I want to say thank you. Well, I said thank you, but I want to specifically say thank you to Pam for all of your help with everything, through everything. Like being man and woman, being a candidate for Man and Woman of the Year is a lot of work, or it can be a lot of work, and it can be nerve-wracking. It can be nerve-wracking, even with encouragement. Let me say this: every Man and Woman of the Year should get a screaming goat. I'd be happy to send one to everyone if you'd like. And I say that with love.
If you make a $5,000 donation right this minute, we will send you a screaming goat.
Absolutely. Yes.
Now, is this going to be a live screaming goat, or is this going to be one of those screaming goats like Tim's got? Because if it's a live one, I think it needs to be a $10,000 donation. But that's just my
just a toy one is all we're offering.
Just this one. Oh my goodness.
Sorry, I'll be quiet now.
That's okay.
Behave yourself, Dorothy.
This group behaves themselves? Have you lost your mind? This group never
We never behave ourselves.
Never.
Is there anything that you would like to say, Pam?
Seriously, I do want to say thank you to each and every one of you who has lended your time and talent to Tim and the campaign to raise money for LLS. It's so important to so many people, and I do appreciate you. And I know, Tim, that things have been stressful, and I appreciate you and Joy and your children just really, working alongside of us to really change lives, and that's what you're all doing. And thank you. I always say it's just not the right words, but they're the only ones that I have. So I Thank you all. I know that many of you have donated and many of you have, been on for hours and hours, Dorothy, over the last 36 hours that we've been doing this in the last 5 weeks. But I can also say that when I came to LLS, what makes me really stay is that we're so mindful of what we're doing with your money. So I appreciate it because I know at the end of the day that we're still helping people with financial aid, and that's just changing their lives. They don't need to make decisions about whether to go for treatment or not. And we couldn't do that without each and every one of you.
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I just have to say, like, when I just finished my hour, and it was encouraging to hear from both of my guests that they both have used LLS services. And, they have both said without LLS support, financial support, that they would have never have gotten through their treatment. And I couldn't imagine as having a 3-year-old just being told my 3-year-old was diagnosed with with leukemia, and then what? You're taking time off work, you're taking, and for months, I had to take a week off when my dad was dying, and I couldn't imagine doing that for months and months and months and months or years. So LLS is there every step of the way, helping these cancer patients and cancer survivors. And so that's what it was all about. And I'm really glad that I was able to bring that out in the hour that I had, because, without LLS, they wouldn't have gotten the treatments that they needed.
Yeah, and Dorothy, you bring up such a good point too, because when a child's diagnosed, it truly is a family that was diagnosed. Those parents, one now works, one had to leave their job, one staying in a hospital. Well, they're really relying on the goodness of hopefully extended family or possibly neighbors and strangers to take care of their other children. And it's just so many things that we don't even think about on that day-to-day basis of what these families really go through. And so those are the things that we're hoping that we can help just a little bit. And if we can change that a little bit, then we've done a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Pamela, one thing I was going to say that I learned with my guests and everything, but I've learned it from some other past guests I've had on other shows as well, is the way that the research that you're doing is impacting other diseases, and not just the blood cancers, but the things in breast cancer, prostate cancer, and a number of the other cancers that are out there, and having that conversation with somebody that was actually diagnosed with breast cancer during COVID. So also having that conversation about having to go through this kind of health ordeal in the middle of what we're going through as a world and all of that, and how that's been impacting the folks and even impacting the kind of care and all of that. And I just have a great deal of respect for you in the kind of work that you're doing and all of that. I did get a memo from like your family members. They're wondering when you ever have time to see them and all of that, because you're always busy with the LLS stuff and all along those lines. But I do know that this is an important cause. That's why I was glad to do my part to help Tim, and glad to try to possibly do it as a North Carolina person on next year. I got to have that Zoom call with the folks to see about that. But definitely, I have a great deal of respect for all of the amazing work that this organization is doing. And I'm glad to call you a new friend. I've got a lot of LinkedIn friends here, but Pamela, I consider you to be a friend as well. So it's just great making these new and amazing friends through live streaming and through these powerful causes.
Mark, thank you so much for your kind words. And I am excited to work with you guys. That's the other thing that makes me happy with LLS, right? You find that some organizations really hold really close to their vest, what they're doing in research. And, you always get those people who say they're never going to find a cure. But I don't believe that, because we do share all of these drugs that we're finding. And where it's really awesome for us is it's easier for us to study cancer in the blood than in a solid tumor. So now, as the scientists are like making these advancements, they're passing these drugs off to the organizations that can now take them to those solid tumor cancers. And I just feel like that is absolutely amazing. And, I appreciate your kind words on why I'm here, but I'm going to be honest with you. I was thrown into this world before I decided to to work for LLS. And so it's people who have no connection and are willing to support and give their time that I really just look up to, and I respect so much, because you don't have to be here to do that. And again, that speaks volumes of your character and who you are at the end of the day and the change you're making in the world. And I am excited to be on your team next year. So
Thank you.
Well, hey, Pamela, one of the things that's exciting to me about LLS is the fact that you guys are very accessible online. You have a lot of great information online. And I appreciate that wholeheartedly, because when I went through leukemia in the mid 1980s, the internet didn't exist. I couldn't just go out to a website like LLS and get information. I had to have my dad, who was a physician, go to medical libraries and pull information for me to get me that information. And I know you guys were around at that point in time, but I never even heard of you until later. Because again, the internet makes the world accessible. And I know you're not just helping people here in the United States, but all over the world through your website. So great job there.
Oh, thank you. And you were probably like we were. I know when my son was diagnosed and they said, stay off the internet. It's the first place we're going to go to find out as much information as we can. The problem is that sometimes, when we're on different sites, we're finding outdated information, and that's not great. So LLS tries to keep their website updated. That is something that monthly they actually also look at, not only the studies, but the printed documents that we have. So we try to keep that up to date, because we know we are all flocking to the internet.
And for those of you who don't know Steve Sullivan is one of the people who, he may not have realized it, but he is one of the people who inspired me to share my cancer story in June. I saw a video he did on LinkedIn, and he is one of the reasons that happened. So thanks for being here tonight, Steve, and thanks for unintentionally inspiring me.
You're welcome. And it's great to be here with several of you. Some of you I don't know, and hopefully I'll get to know. Yes. But Dorothy, it's great to see you again. I'm sorry I didn't get on one of your sessions this time around, like at 3 a.m. or some odd time. But anyway, it is great to be here and to celebrate survival of many people and the treatments that help people survive, and encourage those that might be going through it today that there is hope.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Steve. Matt Wolf, thank you so much for being a part of this event. You were not only one part of this event, you live streamed you were involved in 2 straight live streams this morning.
Yeah.
You're a host and a guest.
I was
double duty.
Lucky to be on both sides. My mom has MDS, and she joined us in the second hour along with Nurse Alex. She was my guest, and it was great to get a perspective of someone who's living with it. I think it's great to hear from someone who's providing help for the people who have it. Mm-hmm. And then when I had the opportunity to talk to in the third hour, I shared a little bit about my story in dealing with people who had cancer. So as someone who's around my mom who has it, my father passed from pancreatic cancer. And so it's a good way to get perspective from everyone, someone who has it, someone who had it, dealing with it. There's a lot of resources out there and help, and people had so many good stories that inspire you, but also great advice for how you can handle, dealing with it as a patient, as a family member, as a friend. So I thought this has been great for a lot of people, and certainly raising money is why we're here, but also getting more awareness to it. People didn't know about this stuff. I certainly didn't know about it until my mom told me she had it. So, and that was almost 7 years ago. She's been living with it. So there's hope, and give people hope. And the message we take away is be positive and ask for help and give help for the people that need it, and if you can. And so, once you said you were doing this, I'm all in. I know how much you mean to a lot of people around here, and all that you do, and here to celebrate and help and a little bit of everything. So happy to be able to be a small part of this big thing. And it's not over yet, even after today. It's, we still got to keep pushing forward and keep the conversation moving.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. I appreciate all your help, and I appreciate everyone. There's such a heart-centered community here among all of us here and beyond, people who are watching, and just so many people that have come in contact with on LinkedIn, but also the other social media platforms. And I'm just so grateful for all of you for helping out in any way that you can or have or are. And yeah, speaking of heart-centered, speaking of the center, let's just bring them to the center. Hello, D. Scott Smith.
Well, it was just a great time talking with Matt and his father and his mother. One of the things that we covered was the need to just let those people around you know how you feel about them, and don't miss. And Matt was able to have a lot of communication with his father, even though they only had really a number of weeks from the diagnosis until he passed. And then here he is taking these 1,200-mile American road trips with his mama. It's just fabulous, right? And these are the things we need to do. And I was fortunate today that my partner over here, Christine Smith, and by the way, coming up in August, it'll be 38 years for us married.
Oh,
so,
congratulations.
Yeah.
I just say she was a rock star in the comments today.
Yeah. And so,
yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Thank
Everywhere.
you. There you go.
I love being able to participate that way. You can probably tell from other things that I've been doing around the online universe. I would say one of my favorite moments today, Tim, you were interviewing Alicia,
Yes.
whose daughter Courtney was 10.
Yeah.
And she needed puffs, and you put it up, and it was just this, it was that far away. And she just finished that whole time, and you could just, hear it in her voice. And as a mom, I would probably do the same thing, feeling like I have got to help somebody else because I'm still a mom. I've got to help someone else. So I was thrilled to know that she's created the Courtney Foundation. So that was one of my favorite moments, was when you were passing her Kleenex.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, she was so great. She was, and the foundation she created in her daughter's memory and her legacy, it's just so beautiful. Yeah. So thank you to both of you for all that you did today. Live streaming and the comments, everything. Love you guys.
Hey, Tim, that was one of the things that I noticed, because I tried to catch as many of the 12 hours as I could, so I was trying to put it in chats and everything. But it seemed to me that everybody that was there, not just on the one that I did, but on several of them, including DJs with that amazing gentleman that had the voice equipment and all of that. And a lot of the other ones were talking about their connection to two things. One was their connection to their family. And when I say family, I don't mean just your immediate family, but your family of connections as well. Because to me, that seems to be something that was very important to everybody that's a survivor. And even you mentioned that, Pamela, how important that was with what you went through with your son. So I was hearing that, and I was also hearing a lot of people talk about their connection and how it gave them a lot of support with their connection, both to the spiritual side, but also to what people might consider Mother Nature and kind of that nature aspect of life as well into the survival journey. But that's kind of some of the underlying themes that I was hearing in just about everybody's conversation, and I don't know if everybody else picked that up as well, but that's just what I heard, was a lot of people really appreciated the support they got, and sometimes even the support from their non-human family as well, because I definitely know Amanda mentioned her support she got both from her cat as well as her horse, and we do know that the cat interrupted the live that we were having and everything, but it was just interesting, that kind of connections that they were having and this need for support as they continued on their journey of survival.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for sharing all of that, Mark, and all the animals. That's really interesting. I wonder if any of the rest of you guys had animal themes. But what I would love to do is, we have two people here who are here to entertain us a little bit tonight.
We love entertainment.
We have Tracey here, who's going to do a bit of comedy for us. And we have Jacob here, apparently also known as Big Red Poppy. Is that right, Jacob?
Yeah.
I didn't realize this. See, I'm learning things already. And thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So welcome. It's great to have you here. I've seen many of your posts on LinkedIn before, and I really admire the way that you show up so authentic and vulnerable. And I even saw your post the other day where you were like, I burn out, I can definitely relate with that. And yeah, so thanks for being here. And I think I had asked you the other day, do you have any connections to cancer? And would you mind sharing that with everyone?
Yeah. My dad was diagnosed with esophageal cancer in February of 2008, and he was given a year to live, and he passed in October of that year. So about 14 years ago, half my life ago.
Wow. Sending you lots of love and prayers for sure. For sure.
Yeah. It was experience, but it was you kind of gain something from the experience too.
Yeah. What did you gain from it, Jacob?
Just a different perspective. I feel like I can help people who are maybe going through it or struggling. But I know if my dad were to have it any other way, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. If it had to be one of us, he would have wanted it to be him. It seems like the strongest people are the ones to go, and I don't know. It brought on its different challenges, and sometimes we're just a blur. But in a way, I'm grateful for it, just because of the different outlook it's given me. And his memories can live on forever. And my dad's name was Michael, and my son's name is Michael. So
wow,
named him my dad. Yeah,
that's beautiful. And
I'm a big believer
said,
in.
Wow. Sorry, Mario.
No problem. I'm a big believer in ancestor connections. I was just wondering, do you feel that your dad sometimes helps with your journey and everything? Because that's just something that I've always believed in, that even though he's gone, that he still is someone that carrying that message and helping you in your life journey.
Yeah. It's challenging to say in a way, because I call him my dad. He was my stepdad, but the only dad I really knew. And so he came into my life whenever I was around 6 years old. And before that, it was just kind of like not having a dad. So in ways, it felt like I was given a dad and then it was taken away from me. And, a lot of things feel unfair that way. But yeah, he was a real great person, and I just try to be as good as an example as he was setting for me. So, he's always in my mind and on my heart, as I'm going on throughout life. So I would say so in a way.
Makes sense.
Jacob, you remind me of two of my sons, because they have red hair too, and they are little bit younger than you and a little bit older than you. But if you ever need a dad conversation, DM me, and I'll be listen and talk to you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you sharing all that, Jacob. Teresa down here says, "Oh wow, my father-in-law had esophageal cancer with you, Jacob." Thanks, Teresa. So, Big Red Poppy, did you want to play some tunes for us?
Please.
I can try. I'm vastly underprepared.
That's okay.
You got this.
Yes, you got this.
I didn't know what you want. Did you have any requests?
No.
Good, because I probably want to be able to play what you want, but I have Man in the Mirror printed out, and I'm gonna try and remember how it all goes.
Okay.
And this might be more of a comedy bit than a music bit.
Okay.
But
we love
we're
that.
gonna power through it together. But if I stop, just pretend like I didn't stop.
Yeah.
Just act like it's part of the thing. Now I can't see. Hold on. All right, we'll give it a whirl. Gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel really good. Gonna make a difference. Gonna make it right. As I turn up the collar on my favorite winter coat. This wind is blowing my mind. So kids in the street that enough to eat who mind to be blind, pretending not to see their needs. The sun is disregard, broken bottom top, one man's soul. They follow each other on the wind, you know. Got no way to go. That's why I want you to know I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, then look at yourself and make a change. Nah, 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 nah. Anything tomorrow, selfish kind of love. It's time that I realize this time with your home has been too long. It really means we're not alone. We're looking deeply scarred, somebody's broken heart, washed out dream. Follow the pattern of the way to see. It's got no place to be. That's why I'm starting with me. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, then look at yourself and make a change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make I didn't finish the whole song, but you know.
Oh my God, you are
that
so
was great.
good.
I was impressed. Tim, I got a
Beautiful.
question for you based on that song, because one of the things that I heard from a lot of people in the conversations was how much they had to reassess themselves when they went through survival. And that's kind of what that song, The Man in the Mirror, is about. So I'm just wondering your reflections on that, because I was thinking about how a lot of the survivors have had to, because they're finding out this horrible diagnosis, or having to reassess what life means to them and everything along those lines. And like I said, that's really what Michael was singing about in that song.
Yeah. Whenever I first decided to play this song was not that long ago. Someone requested it, and I was like, I can maybe do that one, because a lot of times things request, it just doesn't work. So I was going through and I was playing it, and you think Michael Jackson, and he's just pop. It's just like a lot of fun and everything. And I'm very guilty of enjoying songs that I have no idea what they're talking about. I do pay attention, but sometimes you just don't. And I really didn't realize it until I was actually playing the song, and I was like, man, this is kind of a tough song to do, in a like fun type of way. But I mean, applying it to my own life, I don't know. I don't think I thought that far yet.
What about you, Tim?
What's that, Mike?
What about you, Tim? Because I was just thinking about the whole nature of that song and how it's really about survival. And a lot of the people that have gone through survival, they sometimes have to do self-reflection on what their life has been, and having that diagnosis sometimes gets them to change their mindset. So I'm just wondering.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's been so many cancer stories of survivors and supporters throughout the day, and just kind of my perspective is, for me, I found out in December that I'm cancer-free. And for me, a lot of reflection has happened since I've been cancer-free, whereas a lot of people have a lot of reflections while they're in the cancer, and a lot of reflections have happened for me since then, which I thought would be the other way around. That's just kind of what my perspective has been.
That makes a lot of sense. I do have to tease you about something, Tim, because you threw a rookie. You threw a rookie into the live stream, because I was watching Andrea. She did a great job, but she did mention that this was her, like, one of her first early live streams, and I'm going like, wait a minute. Yes. He's got Dorothy, he's got DJ, he's got myself, he's got a lot of these Brian and Nancy. He's got these established veterans who are really good at it and everything, and he's going to throw a rookie into the frying pan. So I did have to tease you about that when I saw that she was saying that she is new to live streaming.
Andrea did amazing today. Amazing.
Shout out, she did great.
Andrea. Let's all give Andrea a round of applause.
Thank you. Amazing that
she was truly great.
He trusted me. Thank you so much. I had such a great time.
Yes, of course, Andrea. Of course. Okay, speaking of Andrea, thank you so much for being one of the incredible live streamers. This was your first live stream, like on LinkedIn, using StreamYard today, right?
It was. I've helped others with their streams before, but this was officially through me, through my name, through my account. Yes. So I was saving it for a special occasion, and this was perfect.
That's awesome. So thank you so much for helping out. So do you want to say anything? Like, what was your experience like today? And just, do you have any thoughts you'd like to share?
Oh my gosh. I'm just floored. I'm completely floored, humbled, and I learned so much. I've had friends and family members that have gone through the journeys of going through cancer, and I always felt so helpless. But I learned so much today that you don't have to do something so big to just show your love and show your support. It's just being there, and it made me feel okay. I'm enough. I'm worthy of what I've been doing. But also, I've learned so much with all the guests, just about the whole diagnosis, the whole journey, and I, like I said before, I just want to be a stronger ally. So I also really, really appreciate this opportunity to show up in that way.
Yeah, of course, of course. And you provide a space for people with your beautiful hope and kindness rallies that you create that space every month for people, right?
Yes, the last Saturday of every month, I did a similar thing. Everyone telling their stories of stories of perseverance, of defying the odds, of courage, and I do it via Zoom. But hey, I'm starting to like StreamYard, so we'll see.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Okay, thank you, Andrea.
Thank you so much.
So Tracey, thank you for being here tonight.
Thanks for inviting me.
Of course, of course. Thank you for being part of this event. And I didn't realize this, but you actually have a connection to cancer. I know at least one of them. I don't know if you have more than one, but will you share that with us?
Yeah. I come from oncology research, and I've been in oncology research for probably about 10 years at least,
Wow.
in Tampa and here in Seattle as well.
Wow. So how do you go from oncology to comedy? That's what I want to know.
Well, now I work for Facebook, so I'm in virtual reality with the Oculus Quest now, so it's very different.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. That must be really interesting to be working on right now.
What'd you say?
That must be really interesting to be working on right now.
It's very different, yeah. But I was in CAR T cell therapy, and it's very groundbreaking here in Seattle. So that it was wonderful to be part of those projects too.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Do you have any personal connections to cancer at all?
I have been impacted by it through friends here in town. Two girls I knew both got diagnosed at the same time, and they were friends. And it was pretty tough. One of them passed away pretty quickly, and it was very, I mean, for us, I feel like it was just really hard to understand. And one of them completely changed her life. She was living in kind of like penthouse living in downtown Seattle, and she was single, and she ended up getting married to someone who she may not have married otherwise, and moved to a small town, and it impacted her life quite a bit in regards to the changes that she made and what she walked away from, and her I'm gonna cry, being impacted by the fact of discovering what really matters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the bougie lifestyle. You know what I mean? So
right.
Definitely.
Yeah. So Tracy, did you want to do some comedy for us tonight?
tears now.
Now that you have tears.
Cancel me as soon as I start because it's inappropriate. So.
It's fun.
You know, this cancel culture we live in now. So just joking.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know about me, but I give terrible advice, and that's kind of the brand that I have, and that's what I do. But yeah. So are there any priests here in the audience? I was curious.
Well, you say you give terrible advice. I'm a man that's about to turn 60, and I'm still in that dating life and everything. So do you have any advice for me? What can I do to
question? I'm sorry, what was your question?
You said you give terrible advice. I'm saying I'm in that whole, dating space in an older gentleman and all of that. So what advice can you give to somebody that is, the male version of the over the hill gang?
Oh, so you want to reel it in is what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah. So what you need to do if you want dates, you can't be picky is the thing. You have to just swipe right on everybody on these online dating apps and go out with all of them.
So just swipe right on Tinder or any of them, no matter what they look like. Just swipe right and just keep swiping right. Okay.
Yeah. That's the algorithm. If you swipe right on everyone, you'll get better choices.
Better choices, right? Right. I like this idea.
Everyone
And
gets
everything.
more gorgeous as you go. Like,
Especially if you're drinking.
it's actually better to drink because then you won't feel like awkward when you're swiping right on everyone.
Do you have any advice for if you're trying to eat better? Because like I said, I am not the best person. Matter of fact, later on after this show, I'm probably going to go eat junk food. So do you have any idea on how to eat better as well?
I highly recommend Krispy Kreme donuts, and especially when they're fresh. And then you want to eat like 10 of them, and they're so good. So that would be probably something I would recommend.
Okay.
Because you only live once, and everything needs to taste good. So.
Well,
Tim,
you know
she's our kind of girl, Tim. That's where we meet.
Did meet at Krispy Kreme just a few weeks ago.
Sounds like a perfect person. Well, Dorothy said something about a toast. I need to find what I'm going to drink. But do you have any advice for what kind of drinks we should have? I think I'm going to probably have to settle for some water. But do you have any advice for those that want to go out and have a good alcohol of some sort or another?
Oh, for drinking?
Yes.
That's a good question. What is your goal?
Well, the goal is to relax, just have a good time, and maybe just sit there and enjoy myself with the drink. So I was thinking about like a glass of water.
Water. Oh, okay. Well, that's a safe way to go.
Hey, Mark, you should drink a Shirley Temple because I hear that attracts more women.
Oh, that does the same thing as swiping right. Drink the Shirley Temple along with swiping right. I like this idea.
That's totally not what I was going to say.
I know. I think you need something stronger than that. Definitely.
It depends on the crowd he's in.
Jenny is saying extra dirty martini. So maybe I need the martini, but an extra dirty one.
Jenny knows how to party.
That she does.
Well, one of the things, and then we'll get off this kick and everything, but you're doing a really good job. But, Jenny, Tim and Joy are an amazing couple. I've been trying to give them to give me some advice on just relationships in general. But I was wondering, what do you think is the secret to successful relationships? Because apparently they have one, and I don't know their secret other than putting up with Tim's shenanigans.
Crispy.
You have to shut the fuck up. Can I let say that here? And you always say yes, darling. Absolutely, whatever you want.
I mentioned that
is definitely the secret.
Well, like I mentioned, we've been married coming up on 38 years. We're coming up on 38 years, so I can definitely give you some good advice. Here you go.
Yes, what is the good advice? I'm waiting.
I thought he was going to say one of his famous lines, and I was simply going to say, and he's never told that joke before.
See, there's the advice right there. I tell you I'm going to give you good advice, and I put the microphone in front of my wife.
Let her be the expert always.
What I mentioned earlier that one of my guests had a cat getting the shot and everything. So what is your advice to those that are thinking about getting a pet? So since you give great advice, should I think about getting a cat or a dog?
I'm starting to think that you're a little greedy because you keep nobody else is asking me questions, but you keep
I put in a pause there to let them ask questions, but yeah, I get the point.
Everybody knows that. I mean, all of us, like everyone knows that what you want to see walking down the street on a leash is a baby pig.
A baby pig? Okay.
Yeah. And then you can obviously make your pig famous on TikTok and then you'll be a millionaire. So that's probably what you want to do.
Yes.
That's what you want to be known for is,
I'm tossing it off to Pamela. I think Pamela's got a question for you. Pamela, do you need some advice? Like she said, I've had all the fun. You're the LLS person, so I think you need to have some good advice from her as well.
I just put in the comments that I can't wait to see Mark Lee walking down the street with his baby pig.
Mark, is that going to be part of your LLS campaign next year on TikTok? A baby
TikTok
pig?
and the baby pig. That's going to be a whole new thing.
And how is it that Tim doesn't have a baby pig filter? I mean, come on. Tim,
Oh,
you
don't
let
give
us
me
down,
any
man.
ideas. Don't give me any ideas, Scott.
Tim is
Yeah, that's
team
the
Don't give me
idea.
any ideas, okay?
Your team goat,
Tracy,
right?
your question is to help Mark out. What's the best line to ask a girl out?
I'm happy to answer questions as long as you keep it clean. I'm not here to change diapers. I'm here to change lives because I'm an expert and this is what I do. So just giving you a heads up.
I think they had a question that was geared toward me. They wanted to know what about the pickup lines that I need to have. And I don't even believe in pickup lines, but apparently one of them asked about a good pickup line.
Yeah, absolutely. Pickup lines. We're experts at that too. And you know what? My favorite one, I think, is I know what you did last summer. You touched my butt.
That is a good one. Andrea, you stepped into this madness, so I need you to ask a question. Andrea, as the newbie in here, do you have a question for our lovely comedian who has all kinds of great advice?
Well, actually, I was typing a question backstage and asking if I'm still in the right show.
You just entered an alternate universe, just like the world we live in now.
So I'll delete that now.
The only news I listen to now is the We Lie to You news. I mean, it's, obviously that's the only thing that will appeal to my manipulated mind.
Dorothy, I'm sure you got a Canadian question for her.
I am just loving all of this. I don't know. What kind of question do I have? How do you make a kid listen?
Oh, how do you make them listen?
Uh-huh.
What are they doing?
Everything they're
Like,
not supposed
not
to be
getting out
doing,
of bed or things like that. Like,
or going to bed on time, not getting out of bed, not getting off their video games, not eating their dinner.
Doing chores.
you're gonna have to become your mother and be like, I said, get out of bed, and I mean, get the hell out now, and mean it, and shock them. Like,
I would gladly do that. However, my husband would go, "Don't talk to him that way."
this is terrible advice, Dorothy.
I know, right? That's just terrible advice.
We're the experts.
Yeah,
Don't
getting out of bed.
us. We're always correct.
My dad had a great process to help me get up in the morning. He came in, turned on the light, and took the blankets off me and out of the room.
Uh-huh.
So, and then he said, "Stay in bed as long as you want."
Oh my God, that is good.
That is good.
Hey,
you know,
That is.
Wow.
Your father was nice. With my
the
kids,
best thing.
with my boys, when they didn't get out of bed and I said, it's time to get up, they got one warning. And if they didn't get up, I came back with a glass of water and I'd throw it on them. You only have to do that once or twice, and they will start getting out of bed when you tell them to.
Hold on a second.
That's
Steve, was it a
serious
glass of
right
water or was it a gallon of water?
It was usually like 1 ounce of water, not a whole lot.
Wow.
Yeah, that is dangerous. I remember that one of the greatest things that happened is when I was young, the TV was broken, and my parents were like, guess what? We're not going to get it fixed. So we will live without a TV for a year. So would you give folks that same advice if their computer broke? Would you just say, don't buy a new one, that they probably need to just keep the computer off? Or would you rush out and get the biggest and fanciest toy as a Facebook person?
You mean just to be on social media?
Yeah.
Sorry, I got an email. Go get the fanciest computer in the world just to be on social media?
Uh-huh.
Of course. Absolutely.
I love that smile you have. It's like, of course, go buy the most expensive one. Go get the Elon Musk version.
100%.
Yeah. People only know how to relate to each other online.
Say that again.
People only know how to relate to one another online. So you got to have a computer.
I just noticed the funniest thing in the world. If you need a manscaper, I don't know where to find that, like maybe Amazon. But the thing is, if you need a mansplainer, I guarantee you can find one in this room right now.
You bet.
That's
We
funny.
got it now. That we understand. We need to have explanations. It can be found and all of that. I do have one question for you, Miss Tracey, because you seem like a wonderful and warm person. So I'm going to check my Tinder account, and if I see your picture, I'm going to swipe right. That is what I'm supposed to do, right?
You're going to have to increase your search to all over the world or something to like find me. One of the jokes. Is my time up? Or thank you.
Thank you, Tracey. Do you have more?
Yeah, I mean, I always have more. Like, if you guys have any final questions, I just wanted to tell you to go ahead and just go start your own Zoom room to talk about it.
Oh, well, thank you for that suggestion. Yes, thank you.
So on a serious note, what we find you on Clubhouse? Because I'm thinking that you've probably got all kinds of funny rooms there in Clubhouse and Twitter
I'm on
and every place along
Clubhouse
those lines.
Tuesday night, you guys, and Saturday nights, and it's called Terrible Advice, and the club is called.
Well, Tim knows this because I had them on the first group and everything. That's why I didn't mind playing straight man, part of an improv troupe. So I'm gonna have to bring you on to the Funky Eye Puppets and IPC and all of that. They're also on Clubhouse. So.
I love improv, obviously, right? So I just did my first class last week, to be honest. It was amazing. It was hard, but it was good.
Cool.
Very challenging.
Cool. Well, thank you, Tracey.
Thank you.
Dorothy, do you want to do what you wanted to do?
Okay, yes, we'll do that. So does everybody have their drink in front of them?
I'm going to go off camera for a second and go get a glass of water because that's all that's in the house. I've been serious when I said that.
Go get one really quick.
Champagne?
I have a Smirnoff Ice Light.
Ooh.
So my dad would have turned 70 on March 20th, and we had this big party without him, and we threw a toast to the old man. So I thought it very appropriate for tonight to toast our guests that were on all day long.
Yes.
That were there every 12 hour for all 12 hours. I want to give a toast, a shout out to every single streamer that was on here today. I want to shout out to every single musician, and Tracey with her hilarious comedy. And I just want to say, Tim, without you, this would not be possible. And I just want to thank you for being such an amazing friend, and to coming up with this crazy ass idea. And what a great way to bring, like I said, in the hour that I was on, I consider us cancer families, those of us that have been connected through cancer. And so I just really want to give a shout out to Pamela and Valerie, who was this morning, for coming up with this man and woman of the year. I know they personally didn't, but they work with the organization that did. And so bringing us all together to share these moments. So we laughed, we cried, we pretty much every emotion today. And and it's beautiful to see joy on camera. Like, do you not all agree? To see joy on camera is definitely great. So I just want to say cheers to every single survivor that's here, everybody that has been impacted by cancer of one time and another. And for those of us that lost our loved ones to cancer, we give a cheers out to them. So with that, cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And Tracey, I assure you, it is water.
I should
So-
run and grab a beer.
We'll go grab a beer.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's what I just want to do. I just thought it appropriate that, you know, we say cheers to everybody, future, past, present, and a big shout out to Jenny, who, you know, is just going through her grieving process with losing her mom. So
Yes. Thank you, Dorothy. And yeah, I just want to say thank you also to all of you who have been watching whatever chance you have watched over these 12 hours, whether you've watched live during, right now it's Friday, April 22nd, whether you watch today, whether you're watching in the future, whether you're future people or live people or previous people or whatever the past word is for live streams. I don't know what people use for that. I just so appreciate all of you.
Team replay.
Team replay, whether you're a team replay, yes, or a team, team replay. Yeah, that, thanks. Yeah, I'm just so grateful for all of you. All of the live streamers, Pam, Valerie, all of LLS, all the LLS people, all of you who have donated, all of you who will donate, just everyone who have poured out their hearts, their wallets, all the things. Just such an incredible community of people that have come together in such an amazing way. And I'm going to need the puffs very soon. So I'm going to end this really soon. And before we go, though, I have to read this comment from Kenny D. He says, Tim Sohn, savor the flavor of the awesomeness in you, sir, for sharing your delectable nuggets of wisdom, kindness, goodness, patience, encouragement, empathy, understanding, sincerity, perseverance, knowledge, honesty, love, hope, courage, tenacity, awesomeness, caring, positivity, compassion, passion, inspiration, resilience, respect with us today. Whew.
Oh, that was great. I was impressed by Kenny D. That was truly amazing.
That is Kenny D.
Question.
That is Kenny D. through and through.
That is
what
so
a great
Kenny
brother.
D. That is so Kenny D.
Oh my goodness.
I got one last question for Tracey, because you talked about team replay.
Oh my gosh.
And we're trying to find a word for the future and a word for the past. And since she works for Facebook, is there a replay in the other dimension? And if so, will we get donations in the other dimension? So that's my other question of advice. Are we going to have a team replay in another dimension?
When I fall asleep tonight and start dreaming, I'll let you know in the morning.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh. All right. Thank you, everyone. We're going to go out with a video that I don't think worked this morning because I was having problems when we launched this morning. So I'm going to play the intro video as the outro video. Thank you, everyone. You are all freaking amazing. And love y'all. Bye.
Love y'all too.
Bye.